7 for 2 with the not-out batsman, the night watchman, Pat Pocock, and John Edridge, who'd struggled along close to the pitch. Well, it looked a little bit more mottled in colour this morning, and England really had a task here against the three West Indian pacemen. Roberts, that great bowler, and the supporting cast of Holding and Daniel. They had to hold out against them and not worry too much about the spin of Albert Padmore that may or may not come later on. We join play with the first ball of the morning. It's Andy Roberts bowling to John Edridge. And he'd have to go here if he hits the stumps. He must have been gone. A funny little single that to start the day. Edridge wanting one from the first delivery, and Pocock really was scrambling there. It would have been an absolute disaster. That's 4. It was catchable too. Gordon Greenidge and Kallicharran. Neither of them went for it, and I would say, looking from here, behind the bowler's arm, that it was Greenidge's catch. On his left-hand side, and it seemed to go fairly close. He's at second slip, seemed to go fairly close to his left leg, off the outside edge. He goes for it now, and it landed certainly in a catchable position with both fieldsmen looking at it. Toss, and Andy Roberts just ran after it. And that's out. Yes, it is. Kallicharran has taken it at first slip. A good catch, that. Sharp catch, and Pocock is gone. Caught Kallicharran, bowled Holding for 7, and England 46 for 3. It's the breakthrough the West Indies needed. Either one of these two players to get into the rest of the batting order. It's off the mark straight away. 2 runs. Andy Roberts now to Edridge. And that's out. He's gone, and it's the second wicket of the morning. 48 for 4. Andy Roberts strikes this time. Holding having taken the first wicket. Now Edridge is out. Court Murray bowled Roberts for 8. 48 for 4 England, chasing 211. Pressure right on now. Andy Roberts. There's 2 wickets to his name now. Bowls his first ball to Frank Hayes. And that's out! First ball! Clive Lloyd has caught it, and Andy Roberts got that ball up from just short of a length. A very good delivery, and Frank Hayes is gone. Roberts is on a hat-trick, and it's 48 for 5 England in reply to the West Indies 211. Disaster for England here this morning. 3 wickets down. Just short of a length. Hayes played it, well, as correctly as you could do, and it came up off the shoulder of the bat. Clive Lloyd, the man moving around to take the catch. Quite a simple chance. And most disappointed Frank Hayes goes back to the pavilion now, and the West Indies absolutely delighted. So it's 48 for 5 now. And what a time for the England captain to come in. He's been in a number of tough situations in the last 2 years. Nothing more tough than this. 48 for 5. Roberts on a hat-trick, and the last hat-trick performed in Test cricket was by West Indian Lance Gibbs. That was at Adelaide in 1960-61. I had the pleasure, dubious pleasure, of standing at the other end whilst he knocked the 3 of them over. It's a no ball. Good shot from Tony Greig. Albert Padmore's after it, but it'll beat him into the boundary. So Greg starts off in dashing style, and it's certainly the right thing to do to try and carry the attack back to the West Indian bowlers.
A little bit fortunate there, actually. It was a very useful ball. Came back quite sharply, and the intended off drive brings him a couple of runs through mid-wicket. It's a fine ball, and Daniel's done it again. Brought one back inside edge. Greg has gone. And another failure for the England captain. Bowled by Daniel for 9, and England slumping here to 65 for 6. Holding again to Woolmer. Oh, and a good ball asking for it, and Woolmer's off without looking at the umpire. A little touch off the glove, a fancy there. And Holding breaking through. Woolmer, who'd looked as safe and as sound as anybody out there. Just a little unfortunate. I think it just flicked his glove as it went through. But Woolmer, a very sporting gesture there. He didn't even wait for the umpire, Lionel Budd, to give the decision. He was on his way. Oh, and a really nasty one again there. Ticking that one in just short of a length. And with the over 8 so slow in modern cricket and 3 pace bowlers in the side, batsmen really don't blunt the pace of these quickies. Can keep coming back in short bursts, take the time, have a good rest, and they come back at 5:30 these days and bowl as quickly as they do at 11:30. And he's bowled him. So out goes the leg stump. Underwood goes for naught. Holding takes another wicket. And England go on to 67 for 8. Pitched well up this time. Must have come as a surprise to Derek Underwood after receiving those short ones. Belated effort to try and force it away. And once again, an English batsman late on the shot. Salva then to receive his first ball in a test match. And confidently away, pushed nicely through mid-on. Great roar from the crowd. Runs in front of the wicket for a change. And collects a couple for that firm little push through mid-on.
Holding now, just waiting for Knott to ready himself. And that's out. It's Greenidge, the man who made that century. But Weeks was just talking about catching Alan Knott off Holding. 71 for 9 now. And that was a very good delivery again. The ball really is moving off the seam out there this morning. Big leg cutter again. And Gordon Greenidge snaps it up at second slip. Both feet off the ground. Bowl him, and that's the end. 71 all out. Holding bowls Hendrick. And what a sensational morning this has been, and what a triumph for the West Indies and their fast bowlers. 211 the West Indies. England all out for 71 in the first session of play on the second day of this third test. That's how the last wicket fell. Mike Hendrick never in line. The ball removing the off stump. Hendrick is out for naught, and Holding finishes with 14.4 overs, 7 maidens, 5 for 17, and there he is being given pride of place by his teammates. A splendid fast bowling performance, and he takes off Andy Roberts with him. Roberts, the man who broke through those 2 quick wickets earlier. Between them, they took 8 for 39, and Daniel, the third bowler used, had 2 for 13. Well, if you thought the West Indies scorecard yesterday was remarkable, what about that one? David Steele 20 and the next highest score, extras 19. Not another man in double figures. A real trail of disaster for England, all out for 71. Their lowest score since they made 52 at the Oval against Australia in 1948. A terrible performance from the batsmen. The bowling, really good. Roberts, Holding and Daniel, just 3 bowlers used. Roberts 3 for 22 from 12 overs. I thought he bowled superbly. Holding came in with 5 for 17, took 5 for 6 at one stage, 14.5 overs, 7 maidens, and Daniel chipped in for 2 for 13 from 6 overs, 2 maidens. Well, that really was a terrible morning for England, one of the worst I've seen from them in recent years, and now their task was to keep the West Indian batsmen tied down and to pick up as many wickets as they could. Well, the first bowler for England was Mike Selvey. He took 4 for 41 in the first innings. Could he do it again? We join him now, and he's bowling to Gordon Greenidge. It's in the air, but it's safe, and it's 4 runs. There's a real come-to-attention drive, both feet coming together.
And fairly hammered off the back foot there by Greenidge. Half volley, swinging slightly away, beautifully timed, perfectly placed shot from Greenidge. The man who's made all the difference to this game of cricket. In fact, his score just about being the difference between the two sides here on first innings. Confident shout there, turned down by umpire Budd. Short pulled away this time safely by Fredericks. David Steele coming around from a fairly deep position on the long leg boundary. And once again, Fredericks quite happy to just amble a couple of runs there. His side now in an extremely strong position, moving on to 29. No wickets down. The odd umbrella going up in the crowd. Nothing very much to this rain at the moment, just a few spots. In fact, not enough for them to keep the umbrella up, but certainly threatening. It's powered away through mid-wicket. All the way for 4 runs. And no third man, not found the gap between third slip and gully, racing away to the boundary. And so Tony Greig has attacked at least with this new ball, but he's got to be thinking, I think, now in terms of trying to contain these West Indies. They've moved on to 40 without loss. Still bowling with an attacking field, which is fair enough whilst the shine is on the ball and it's new. 3 slips, a gully, 2 short legs, but anything beating those will most obviously go for 4. And chopped again, wide of third slip, racing away down there. Touch and go, yes. Hayes doing the fielding, and just as well I think it was Frank Hayes. Certainly the fastest man in this England side, saved runs by the score right the way through this match. Those runs bringing the opening partnership up to the 50 mark, coming only 43 minutes. He's found the gap again. 4 runs, absolutely pointless chasing it on that outfield there, racing away in front of the pavilion. Another boundary to Gordon Greenidge. And Selvey's bowling in the second innings here, proving pretty expensive. That's a good shot. Short again by Hendricks. Forced away off the back foot by Fredericks. Selvey chasing it, but no chance of stopping it. So it's another boundary to the little left-hander. And West Indies score moving on now to 61, all their wickets in hand. So Pocock to bowl first of all to the right-hander Greenidge. Down the wicket, swung away to mid-wicket. And Selvey out there, didn't pick it up. It's gone through for 4. Really taking his life in his hands there. Backed away, forced it through the offside. A second successive boundary to Gordon Greenidge, who's determined now that he's going to try and get after these spin bowlers.
Beautiful shot. 4 runs to Greenidge. Oh. The 4 runs, beating Woolmer. Nicely timed by Fredericks, getting it away past backward point's right hand.
That's another good shot. Beautifully placed too. There's a ring of 4 fielders there, but Fredericks has found the gap, forcing it away. And they're looking for 3 runs here to bring up a century opening partnership between these two. And they haven't been hanging about by any means. That 100th partnership coming up in 24 overs and taking only 89 minutes. Both batsmen level now on 46.
It's another magnificent shot, and it's ricocheted off the stumps for 4 runs. Really launched himself at that. And that's 50. What a marvellous match Gordon Greenidge is having.
.50 comes up for Roy Fredericks to join Gordon Greenidge on the same score. A great effort from this pair. West Indies batsmen were in trouble in the first innings. England's batsmen demolished in their first innings, and here a great reply for the opening partnership, the West Indies' second attempt. Mike Hendrick now bowling to Roy Fredericks. And he's trodden on his stumps, an extraordinary dismissal. Of all things, Fredericks and Greenidge having put on 116, Fredericks has now trodden on his stumps with the first ball after resumption, and a very sad man goes back to the pavilion, and very annoyed too, I should think. Richards is still on naught, facing Hendrick. Oh, and there's that shot again, exactly the same as in the first innings, where he was bowled by Selvey. He's off the mark now, though. He's fairly racing across the ground to the boundary. Fine shot by Richards.
Selvey to Richards. Difficult chance there. Woolmer just getting a hand to it. Not dissimilar, in fact, to the one that Tony Greig caught in the first innings. A let off then for Richards. His score on 6. 131 for 1. And that's in the air, but safe this time, going hurrying away for 4 more. Short, pulled away, another glorious boundary to Richards. who's starting to cut loose here. Selvey, the bowler, again to suffer, and Mike Selvey's now been hit for 67 runs off his 14 overs.
There were 4 interruptions for rain and bad light during the afternoon, and eventually the umpires came off the field at around 28 minutes past 6. And the way the rule is framed these days, if there's no play in progress at 6:30, then the extra hour can't be utilised. That extra hour comes in if 1 hour has been lost due to rain or bad light or any other interruptions during the day. The way it stood today, I thought there was a bit of an anomaly in this rule. It may well be worth the people at Lords and the TCCB and other countries having a look at it. It meant that after 6:30, when there was no chance of any further play, the sun came out, players could well have been on the field, and this seems to me to have been a fault in the day's play. Well, the situation as far as England were concerned is that I suppose they were pretty happy to get off at any stage during the day. I don't think I've seen for a long time a day's cricket where one side has so completely dominated the other. West Indies began this morning bowling at England, who were 37 for 2. They demolished them for 71 all out. Lowest scores England had made since 1948 at the Oval. 52 they made then against the Australians. And to tell you the truth, they didn't look like making any more than 71 at any stage today. It was a very, very poor batting performance against 3 good fast bowlers, 1 great one in Andy Roberts, 2 others, Holding and Daniel, who also bowled extremely well. The pitch gave them some assistance. The ball moved off the seam. There was quite a bit of lift, and they took full advantage of it. A fine performance from the West Indians. I wouldn't take anything away from their bowlers. I thought they bowled superbly, but I didn't like the batting one little bit. Well, now England are over 300 in arrears, and still with 3 days to go, I think we can be quite certain there's going to be a result in this game, and I think from the England point of view, I don't like the way it's going. Well, Tony, in recent times,